Curious about why mentoring is important and why should I become a mentor, especially when you're older in this younger, older, elder continuum? It's a great question and one that's being asked of me quite often as I bring this story of older, ager into the foreground, into persons' lives. And I just want to emphasize that in answering this question, I'm encouraging you to think seriously about mentoring because it would be one of the most rewarding decisions that you could ever make. Personally, mentoring has been one of the wisest decisions I have ever made. And I've been a mentor for about 30 plus years, where I would actually give myself that title and using that education approach. And it has opened up a lot of possibilities for me. I'm Dr. Stephen Hobbs. I'm with the Wealth Movement and the International Mentoring Community, which brings together these stories and practices and projects associated with mentoring. And I bring this forward is because, yes, people have been asking this question, why should I become a mentor, especially now that I'm becoming an older? And I lean into it with persons, and I want to share some of the reasons why in today's video, because I think there's something here that would be of great service to you. It will bring a tear to your heart's eye. And if you were to explore mentoring, I would appreciate the opportunity of assisting you. And at the end of the video, I'll share some of the ways in which we can work together. But as we move into the video, I just like to offer an interpretation, definition, explanation of what is mentoring, and to be able to give you some sense of the benefits and some uh, five core practices you need to have under your belt to be able to do mentoring. So let's jump into it and let's see what happens for you. Mentoring is a two-way reciprocal trusted relationship. What it means is that two-way reciprocal, in other words, give and take, answers to questions, questions for answers. There is a shift of energy that takes place. All that unfolds is under the banner of reciprocal. The trusted aspect is you experience integrity and honesty. Those are important aspects for the conversation that takes place. There's also an arrangement, a structure to mentoring. The idea being is could be pre, during, post. It could be entry, closure. There are preferred ways in which to go about how you mentor. And it involves a mentor and a mentee, and sometimes people have used words like protege or learner for mentee. But mentor is the person, for the most part, who's answering questions that the mentee is bringing. I'll share a little bit more about that aspect. Now, this mentoring is happening for personal and professional reasons. Now, you might find yourself as an older, oh, it's time to think about what I want to do as I leave my place of employment. Oh, I've left my place of employment. Now, what would I like to do? Well, you could continue your career advancement once you've left, or you could think about how do I contribute to my career for those who are still in the workplace. That's professional. The personal aspect is what can I do to share my knowledge and skills, the um, practices that I've come up with that would be of value for others from a personal point of view of gifting back. So, mentoring, two-way, reciprocal, trusted, there's a relationship, there's an arrangement, is for personal and professional reasons. Now, the diagram that's here is just a reminder that if you think of a bridge, there is one side of the bridge, the other side of the bridge, and the bridge gets you across something. So let's call it A, B, C. A is the activities and actions that you're taking now. B is a highlighting the behaviors that you may want to shift from your A position so you can go across the bridge. And the bridge is of support to you and get you to see something a little bit different from a consequences point of view or a character point of view. So mentoring is like the bridge. You're finding yourself with the mentee at A, having the conversations to move through B, so the mentee can get to C. But guess what? Because of your mentoring and because it's for personal and professional reasons, you benefit as well. And therefore, you have an A, B, C to your story because of your involvement in mentoring. The mentor uses the knowledge and skills from mentorship. Mentorship is the body of knowledge, the domain of knowledge that has been accumulated that you can tap into, you can find in books, find in videos. And it also is about the preferred mentoring practices. So you have what's called best practices. When you bring those best practices into you and you use them, they become wise practices for you. Therefore, through mentoring, you acquire these practices. Now, you might go, well, how do I find them at the very beginning? Again, tap into the body of knowledge. And then through your own practice, you can ask friends and family to get involved and learn about mentoring in that way. And so, there's lots of possibilities here for you as a mentor to tap into mentorship, the body of knowledge, and tap into mentoring by actually getting engaged with it. And through reflection in and on, figure out, okay, this practice work, that wasn't as great. Why was that? You create a logbook, mentor documentation of your practices, and then be able to leverage those over time. But they also serve as great reminders and offerings that you can give to other elders about getting involved with mentoring. So, in a sense, you could become a mentor of mentors. Often in mentoring and serving as a mentor, in conversations that I have, is a forgetfulness surrounding mentoring is holistic. That is, all is connected. With mentoring, because you're answering questions of the mentee and working together, you as a mentor have to sort of, in a sense, step back a little bit and go, hang on a minute. All of this is connected. Where are we going in our conversation? So that what you can do is, I think maybe we're headed somewhere won't be helpful, or, this is hindering our conversation, or, this pathway that we're taking is going to get us there, and I'm going to actually learn something from this. So it's all connected. And one of the great things is that when the mentee becomes your mentor, yes, it is possible in a longer duration, a mentee can become a mentor to the mentor. I've had that happen quite often, and I so enjoy it because then I can go, oh, okay, so if I shared this and we got to this point, and the mentor is now my mentee in a different form, wow, that means I get a bit of a mirroring of what's taking place. And I have the ability to reflect on something that I shared through the eyes of someone else who is in practice. That is a wonderful gift that you have set up with the mentee, and then the mentee gifting that back to you as a mentor. So I would encourage you to remember that all is connected. It's holistic. Mentoring is holistic. And when you lean into that, you can benefit in a lot of different ways. I've been hinting at this point quite often in explaining what mentoring is, but let me just really get into the understanding that mentoring is characterized by the mentee asking the mentor questions so that they can both use a collaborative conversation to explore the answers to those questions. Now, the way that I look at it is questions are the issues, the problems or the appreciations that the mentee is bringing to you as the mentor. And what you're looking for through the collaborative conversations is for the answers, the initiatives that you can take, the answers to the questions, the initiatives to the issues. And when you look at it through that lens, what you're doing is you are shaping and sharing the answers to those questions. And shaping and sharing it is about, oh, okay, let's look at it from different angles and then let's shape an approach, and it could be in a draft that you can test out. It could be, all right, we're actually going to do it this way. We're going to schedule it this way. This is what's going to happen to give it a bit more formality. That's the possibility that's here. And it all starts by understanding that the asking of a question gets you into an answer. So, therefore, the quality of your questions is important. And for a mentor interacting with a mentee, I would encourage you to help the mentee learn about what makes a great question. Having explored what mentoring is about, I want to highlight what are four compelling benefits. I've sort of hinted at them a little bit as an older taking up mentoring. Now, you could be an older who is already mentoring. Great. It might be wonderful just to tap into these benefits. But if you certainly new as an older to the idea of mentoring to take it up, these compelling benefits are something to go, oh, okay, this is kind of interesting. So let's take a look at each one. Now, the first one is age confidently. And that is for you to say, hang on a minute. If I'm aging, I'm an older, I'm aging, do I have the self assuredness to be able to age with the confidence of being able to assist others, which means I'm assisting myself in living a hale and hearty life? And from that, you reinforce your own self worth and capabilities, your self concept. And what it does is it gets you to think about, well, I'm in active contribution rather than retreating away. I'm actually leaning into possibilities. And that's confidence. That is bringing the self assuredness to the foreground. Now, what comes next is a sense of remaining relevant. Now, in this rapidly shifting world, remaining relevant is important. Now, you have your knowledge and skills, your memories, your experiences, your evidence of what you have been doing over the years, and you're bringing it forward and tapping into some of that while mentoring. But to remain relevant through then mentoring is a great way, because by answering the questions with the mentee, oh, I hadn't thought of that before, that gets you to remain relevant. Also, to remain relevant is to stay connected with the current trends, shifting life and activities and new practices are shifting all the time. And to remain relevant with them, to be able to find that which helps you as well, is a fabulous way in which to age confidently and remain relevant in your contributions. The next thing we want to take a look at is to leverage experience. Now, I've mentioned this and certainly been hinting at it. You bring the evidence of your experiences, your knowledge and skills, your attitude, your memories, what worked, what didn't work, all of these aspects of experience, and to be able to leverage them in a way that someone else can benefit from them is a treasure trove for those who are tapping into it. And sometimes we forget about that, oh, hang on, do I really have something of worth here? Is there something of truth here that I can share? Yes, there is. And that's why I encourage you into mentoring as an older. And what it does is it helps the mentee go, okay, if this is what worked and you are explaining it to me, then together we might be able to find some new approaches and be able to take that and apply it into unique contexts that you can share. And therefore, it's a way to remain relevant. It's a way to age confidently because you're leveraging your experiences that you've had, but also these new mystery experiences that you're going to get into as well. So, this fourth benefit really is a summary, is that when you bring age confidently, remain relevant, and leverage experience, this live an enduring legacy is possible. And with a conscious attention to that, by placing intention to, in a sense, live from the legacy you intend to leave, then mentoring is a great way in which to gift your legacy, gift your experiences to someone so they can learn something from you. And in that, it's a sense of a ripple effect of sharing forward what it is that you have come to know, come to be, come to do in such a way that others can benefit, especially those who've not arrived yet. And that's a wonderful way of looking at how you're leaving a mark for the world, footfalls with the planet, and understanding your contributions from the whole. And the beauty of this is that what you're doing as you age confidently, remain relevant, and leverage your experience is that from a legacy perspective persists long after you're gone. And if that's important, then knowing that mentoring allows this to happen and legacy is something you want to weave into what it is that you are doing as an older to live the legacy you intend to leave. This is certainly one of the areas that I can be of great assistance to you because when you bring together this idea of the evidence that you have, the educating approach, mentoring, and your new experiences that you want to bring into your life as you continue to move forward as an older, then these are expressions of legacy as well. This is a legacy lens. And therefore, what you might say is, I'm going to create content. So I'm going to become a content creator, one of those terms that is certainly creeping in fast into our lives. Then this is a possibility for you. And mentoring is a great starting point as a content creator and actual delivery of what you're creating of content that you want to share with others. So give that a thought. If I can be of assistance, again, reach out, comment below this video, use the contact form on the website to get a hold of us. But let's take a look at the next topic. As you step into mentoring, there's 5 key topics to explore. And I want to bring these to the foreground in a quick way. I'm not going to spend a lot of time in them because each one of them is like a video, could be anywhere from 13 to 21 minutes long, actually listing out all the different practices that are available to you. But these 5 are a great summary point, great place to start, especially as an older entering into mentoring. And if you are an older and mentoring to some degree already, this is a great reminder as well. Is effective communication. Communication is about the level of commonness that unifies us into action. So the idea of the common aspects of community, because you're having conversations that brings you into action, then communication is sort of the sending, receiving of messages, the message itself, and to some degree, if not a lot, depending on what's happening. But through a mentoring lens, it could be about the coordinating of the coordinating the behavior of the mentee as a mentor. And being able to do it effectively to manage that is important. So, what that brings up is the sense that, hang on a minute, then there must be goals and outcomes that's connected because you're communicating to achieve the goals and accomplish the outcomes. So achieve the goals for self and accomplish the outcomes with others. As a mentor and a mentee, each of you is on a unique journey. You have goals that you want to achieve. But as you adventure together, you are attempting to accomplish outcomes that are associated with the mentoring, answering the questions. There is a sense then of accomplishing those outcomes that are associated with the questions. Now, the next one, navigate challenges. In mentoring, it's not like everything is going to work great all the time. Sometimes there's challenges in the mentoring, but also you might find that from the outside, there's challenges influencing your mentoring. Because sometimes what's happening is mentoring is being set up because some organization has asked you to mentor, or you having reached out to mentees, there's community around you that might be influencing the mentoring arrangement, the relationship that has been set up. And therefore, you have to deal with those challenges. As I say, navigate those challenges. So think of it this way: change surrounds every challenge. If you actually take a look at the word CHA at the beginning of challenge and NGE at the end of challenge, that's change. So change is influencing your mentoring arrangement, mentoring relationship. And it's what you do in response to that, what transitions you go through, is what navigating is about. So, navigate challenges is something that's going to be present for you as a mentor. The next thing you need to think about, and hinted already, is if it's a two-way trusted reciprocal relationship, then what is trust? What is respect? These are ethical concepts that have associated practices that go with them. It's very difficult for anyone to argue that trust and respect are not important in any aspect of life. As you move into mentoring, because there's the two of you, mentor mentee, then you both have to understand what trust and respect are about. And when you're able to leverage that and find ways in which to make that always be present in all ways possible, then that experience of trust and respect strengthens the relationship and the arrangement. So spend some time looking at what does trust and respect mean in mentoring. And I will be sharing a ethical decision making framework that has a model and actions to go with it, steps to go with it at a workshop on a weekend. So stay tuned for that. Now, the next thing that I have you look at is use technology. Now, this seems to be an odd one out. When I share these sort of 5 keys to others, I always end up with technology. I say, hang on a minute. Technology, ologists study tech is the technical, the ways in which you go about using tools and techniques. So technologies is a way in which to bring together the tools and techniques, sometimes to find shortcuts, but sometimes it's what you could call your mentoring arrangement. There's a technology associated with it, what you bring in from a tools and techniques point of view. Now, I always remember is someone said there was a discussion about how to create a pen for use in space. And because of the conditions of space, pens don't always work the same way as we would think here on Earth. And someone says, well, why don't you use a pencil then? And I always remember that is because sometimes the technology that's obvious right here can be what makes the biggest difference in your mentoring approach at this point. So think of it that way is you may want to bring lots of technology, fancy ways in which to meet, when in fact meeting in person may be the best way to do it. But again, maybe there's distance and using online technology, online communication technology is important. Just think through, is technology helping you or is it hindering you in your mentoring a relationship and arrangement? Having shared the definition of mentoring, attempting to give a little bit of a foundation on the stand on and some core benefits and core practices that you can use, just highlighting them to give you a sense of a holistic perspective of mentoring. I'd just like to share 3 final thoughts with you about what's possible. So the first one is mentoring includes the unique journeys of growth for the mentor and mentee while adventuring together. I did mention it earlier. I want to really emphasize unique journey, mentor, mentee, the adventuring together, weaving together this notion of fibers to threads to strings to cords to rope. This is an important aspect of the mentoring relationship and arrangement. So when you are entering into it, bring that to the foreground of unique journey, adventure together, and have a conversation about that with your mentee. Reaching out to you personally as a mentor, mentorship, mentoring, and mentor offers ways to remain engaged, share life lessons, and leave behind something timeless, your legacy. I would really encourage you to link legacy and mentoring. So you could say something like mentoring as legacy, legacy with mentoring. These are phrases that bring this together. And I would encourage you to look at the possibility of weaving those together and see what happens for you. Now, you may already have that in mind now. You might go, well, I'll get to that a little bit later. I would encourage you, getting to a little bit later sometimes may push it out a great distance. Think about legacy in this way. again, I've mentioned this, live the legacy you intend to leave. And if your legacy includes mentoring, then while you're mentoring, think through it as a legacy contribution, the stories that go with it. Just it's a way in which to organize your contribution, your gifts that you want to share with others so they can learn something from your experiences. Now, having learned about mentoring, and as you continue to mentor, remember when you improve focus and strengthen your mentor practices, all involved benefit because there's a ripple effect to the mentoring outcomes. So when you are mentoring, while you and the mentee are benefiting, there is a ripple effect because of that mentoring relationship arrangement. Now, sometimes we may not know what that is because, as a mentor, having interacted with the mentee, they go out and because of the mentoring that has taken place, they've improved focus and strengthened their life, their career, their offerings, as you have done as a mentor. So there's a ripple effect that takes place. While we may not know what it is, just know that it's possible because all things are connected. Remember that concept of holistic, the holistic aspects that go with mentoring. So celebrate that as a mentor in and of yourself and being a mentor, serving as a mentor, advancing, amplifying mentoring. In closing out this introduction to mentoring, its benefits, core practices to take up as an older, there's a couple of ways I believe that we can connect and help each other. First one is if you're looking to figure out where you are as a mentor and bringing your evidence, your experiences to mentoring to decide, do I want to get engaged with mentoring? And it's one of the best ways to start up in formalizing your educator approaches, your education approaches as an older. Then complete the International Mentoring Community Journey Mentor profile. There's an assessment that goes with that. It has 70 plus action outcome statements linked to mentoring. And you can go through it and go, do I have experience? Am I competent in this action outcome statement? 70 of them. It's a yes, no, because what happens is if it's yes, then you would have evidence to that. If it's no, it means you want to go get some education to turn that no into a yes. Now, this assessment, this profile assessment, is free to access, and it includes an offer to review your self assessment so you can decide what's next. And you will find it through the website link that's here on the page. I certainly encourage you to do it, even if you don't go to the review with someone out of IMC, the International Mentoring Community. It would be for your own self awareness. Yet, I would encourage you to have that conversation because it's a free 15-minute call. Because what it will do, it will improve focus and strengthen your foundation of mentoring that you're standing on to really understand where you are with it. Just because you think you can mentor doesn't mean you should. That's an important aspect. Some people go, well, I can coach. Yeah, I'll just coach. I can mentor. Yeah, I'll just mentor. Hang on a minute. Think about it as starting up to make sure that the foundation is there and it's not wiggly and wobbly. It actually gives you something to stand on. So, doing this assessment of the profile action outcomes is a great place to start. Now, the next thing is you can go to YouTube and visit at Mentor Practices. This is a place where my co-creator of the international mentoring community, we share more how-to videos about mentoring. Now, we put up 2 to 3 a month. There is a series of videos that are there already covering lots of different topics. You may want to dive into one to, again, figure out ways in which to improve focus and strengthen your mentoring approach. It's a place to make suggestions of, hey, can you shoot a video like this? And we might even ask you to get involved with it and serve as someone in a case example. Possibility. Again, the more that you listen and learn and share and educate, the deeper and richer your own practice becomes. So think of it through that. And then to do it through a legacy lens, thinking about, I will use mentoring as a legacy, then what you're doing is you're living the legacy you want to leave. So again, you're strengthening this approach as an older to living a hale and hearty life. So I would just share the following is what we're doing is bringing to the foreground here all things mentoring and why mentoring. Yeah, why mentoring? Why is it important? Why should I get involved with it? That was what I was attempting to share here in this video. And if you need to, go back to the beginning and listen through and listen to the definitions explanation of mentoring, or maybe you want to go to the benefits and go, okay, let me think through these benefits because I like mentoring. Okay, and look at some of the core practices that you need to have as you move into mentoring. Or if you're mentoring already, go, oh, hang on a minute, I think I could probably strengthen that one up a little bit more. So with that, again, wealthmovement.com/mentor is a great place to jump into as well. And I would encourage you to make comments to go with the video. I so appreciate it because I get an opportunity to learn from you. But more important, the comments is sort of like asking a question. That it just without the question mark, it's more of an explanation mark. Is if your comment is being shared, it's something that's important to you, and by sharing it, you're deepening that importance for you, but you're also going, I'm contributing to the wider base of mentoring. And that I would be thankful for. That comment has a ripple effect as well. So I leave that with you and take care.